Good Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. Thanks for joining us. What is up?
What is what?
What is up? What is down?
What is up? The ceiling.
Yes. What is down?
The floor.
Oh, yeah. Inken, good to see you. Thanks for being here with us live today. Karen, good to see you as well. This may be a short show because there wasn't a lot of news this week. And my dog is barking. He's getting ready to go to the kennel because, here's why.
You're going to the eye of the storm.
I'm going to the eye of the storm. It's actually, there's another storm going on that's bigger than this one. But you see where the FL is right here? In the FL? That's where I'm headed.
Center of the circle.
Well, okay, so the center of the circle, that is southeast of probably 80 miles southwest of where I'm going to be. Okay. So currently, if this holds true, which it's not because it's already moving off to the east, but if it stuck to this line, I would be in the eye on Wednesday evening.
You just need to find the concrete building make of concrete, and stay inside.
Just stay inside. That's all you have to do. No power, no water, no nothing else.
Yeah, it's better than outside with power and water.
It is. My only concern with this one is it is now moved to M, which in all good tech we have our little legends, and which is a major hurricane greater than 110 miles per hour.
Okay.
So we'll see. That's where I'm headed. By the way, my name's Darren. This down here is Victor, and we're the co-host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. And on Fridays, we do this live show, except next Friday. We're off next Friday. And I'm headed to DevOps World. I don't know if anybody else is going to be there, but if you're there, please say hi. Oh, cool. Karen, I just earned my 12-month supporter badge on the DevOps Toolkit channel.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Very cool.
Thank you, Karen. A lot. I mean, I don't know how to express the gratitude for supporting the channel. Thanks a ton, really.
So, we are now. For me, I'm not too concerned about hurricanes. I've been through a lot, so I've been through normally Cat 1, Cat 2, and even some Cat 3. I've never dealt with a 4 or 5 directly personally, but the others I'm used to. So this one's starting a little bit late, so I don't think it'll be more than a 3. That's what it's looking like to me. So
you know what would be scary to me in that case?
What?
That might mean that you are left without internet.
That's fine. That's just normal.
That's a disaster, man. I cannot do that.
Look, as bad as my internet has been here at the house, if I lose it, look, I'm driving down, so it's not a big deal to me. So if things go sideways, I get in my truck and I leave. No matter what time of day or night. I just I just jump in and go.
Being there, seen there, bye-bye.
Yep, no problem. Okay, let's look at what's going on this week. Oh, by the way, I have a new drink. It's not one that I keep around very often. Come on, focus.
Oh.
Cheerwine.
Cheerwine.
Yes. It's a cherry soda. I've had it here a few times before. But I had to go to the grocery store the other day. It's like, look, I haven't had sodas in the house in ages. And I decided, you know what? I'll get Val some Pepsi. That's her favorite. And I got myself some Cheerwine.
There we go.
So it's a soda. Trust me. There's nothing in it of any alcoholic content.
Yeah, I know. That's what worries me.
Today's show. How to modernize legacy applications. We had Bob Quillen on this week, and we talked about modernizing Java and .NET. But you brought up COBOL, and you were sort of sad that Bob wasn't able to pull off COBOL. Do you remember why? It's been a while. You probably don't remember why.
I don't remember why I said that, no.
Bob gave a reason.
Probably me trying to be mean to people.
Well, no, but it's like you would hope that you could modernize COBOL. The problem is any COBOL to fill in the blank language is a one-way trip, and it's unmaintainable.
Yeah, kind of If you didn't do anything with it for the last 10, 15 years, why would you do it today?
And the other thing, too, that Bob brought up that I thought was interesting was, why would you modernize something? Not that, I mean, obviously, he's got a tool to help modernize things, but it's like, if modernization isn't going to make any change to your business, why modernize?
True.
Right? It just doesn't make sense. I'm trying to answer Ingen's question here. I'm going to go back to screen here. Hang on a second. Because now that I have it open, it's going to be dangerous for me to move it. Because I haven't had enough yet.
Cherry flavored sugar.
It is cherry flavored sugar. Face it. So it is 42 carbs, 42 grams of sugar, 150 calories. Contains high fructose corn syrup. There's a reason why I only have one of these maybe every 3 days. Not 100 grams on 100 milliliters, but pretty darn close. It's 12 ounces. What is that in milliliters? I don't know. 355 milliliters.
Yeah.
42 grams of sugar. Anyway, back to the show. I thought it was still cool. I still think modernization is sort of a, do you really need to do it? But
I mean, on one hand, you do have that logic. Hey, if it's been working for a long while now and generates business, why not keep it going? But on the other hand, the nature of the business is changing all the time, right? What was considered a massive number of transactions, let's say, kind of insane number of transactions 10 years ago, is today kind of like it's ridiculously small today, right? So the requirements are changing all the time. And that means that sooner or later, legacy system will need to go, right? Just a question
of
whether
when?
first when, second when that time comes, whether it will go by you improving it or it will go by you replacing it.
Right.
In my head, that's the question, really.
And that was, Bob had called it out. I think they had done a report or something. And there were 7 R's. And I don't remember all of them, but one of them was replace. One was refactor. One was retire. So it's what can you do? I mean, the number of mainframes and COBOL-based systems, AS400s, that still exist today that are running, dare I say, trillions of dollars of revenue each year, are probably a lot higher than people think.
The worst type of legacy system is those that you suspect is doing nothing, yet you're maintaining it because you cannot be certain that it's not doing anything anymore.
Right. And those people that know that are probably already gone from the company or gone from this planet. Yes. Exactly. To me, that's the biggest reason to
it's a type of the system that you cannot turn it off and see what happens for 2 reasons. First, because you don't know what will happen. Second, because you might not be able to turn it on once it's off. So
those are, yes. And isn't it silly that companies allow themselves to get into that position?
It's extremely silly. That's why I'm, by default, and I'm not saying that this always works, but by default, I usually ask kind of like, why do you want to modernize this? Because you obviously don't care about it. What's the sudden, it's like almost like having a child and then you abandon that child and you're not giving any sort of support for 15 years or 20 years, and then you go and they say, here's your daddy. How can I help? Well, if you abandoned it for so long, then let it have its own life.
Yep. Vladislav, good to see you here live with us today. You don't have any modernization projects going on, do you?
Every company older than 2 years has legacy.
Is it only because it took them 2 years to get the application written and it just launched last week? And now, therefore, it's
kind
legacy?
of like, if things change every year, then, okay, let's say 3 years. Then 3 years is how much it takes for something that you thought it was awesome became, first of all, became not so awesome. Second, it doesn't take so much for your unbelievably good code to become mishmash of random things. It's almost inevitable. I don't think I ever saw code, the older code that did not end up being filled with random stuff.
I could argue that newer code is filled with random stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, you know, we're all funky. We're using this latest framework. It's small. It's under 1 million lines of code and all that stuff, and it's easy. And then it gets to 2 million or 10 million or whatever, and then you say, okay, I'm a startup. I started a few years ago, and I already deal with legacy.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's episode 177. Came out this Wednesday. Even though we're not around next week, podcast will still come out on Wednesday. By the way, Victor's video will still come out on Monday, I assume. I haven't talked with you about this week.
Yes, it's all up, waiting.
Okay. Oh, good. So as soon as, by my experience, some big corps don't want to modernize anything. They just want to maintain and delegate to partners, contractors, consultants, the problem of interacting with their legacy systems. Yes, but that's a scary position to be in too, because you are now outsourcing not only your tech, but you're outsourcing your business.
I have a very easy way to explain that. If you're outsourcing, it's not your core business. You don't care.
That's true. If you are outsourcing all of that, then it's no longer part of your business, so just get rid of it.
I'm not even speaking about software right now.
Right.
Whatever you as a company outsource, that's not something that is your core business. That's not something that you really, really care about.
Or let me rephrase it just a little bit. It's not core to your business. Not necessarily it's core, because HR, right? In some companies, there are large amounts of HR people because they're managing benefits for a company of its size, right? It doesn't make sense to be using a third-party administrator like Sequoia or Trinet or any of these other what are called professional employment organizations, right? At some point, you outgrow them, and now you're at the size to where you need to do it yourself, right? There's always that initial tipping point. Well, once you get beyond that, you want to do it yourself. Then it is core to your business.
Yeah. I mean, even kind of, but once you bring it in, then it starts to matter a bit more, right? Whether you externalize it at the beginning and then bring it in later, or you start with having it in, or it's always externalized. But without going into details, that's a very clear relation between what matters to you and what doesn't. Now, the question, actually, I had a conversation with a friend who was for a visit last weekend. And he's a great guy. He's extremely experienced. He's very good at what he's doing, software industry. Good position, all those things. And I told him that he should leave the company. And the only real reason I gave him to leave is because software is not core business of your company. And if you're serious about software, you want to be in a place where actually software is core business or core to the business or however we define.
Which means you're going to end up at a vendor of some type or a SaaS of some type, which is still a vendor, right?
I mean,
or a super large company, right? Like a bank.
Yeah. Kind of some banks, many banks do not treat it like that, but there are examples without me naming where actually software is extremely important for the future of that company. Very important. And again, you see that by the percentage of people that are external, how do you call it? External workers or
contractors.
Yeah,
to me,
I mean,
and
a
that's
number
the
of
difference.
contractors is good, right? Kind of, first of all, you have those that are coming here because they really, really know something you don't. Kind of short term. Then there are contractors that are very specialized. That's all okay.
Yeah, let me correct you just a little bit, I think. This is being pedantic. The people that know something really well because it's something you're wanting to do, those are consultants. People that you're just dumping work onto, like keep the legacy, that's a contractor.
I know. But kind of like, if you ask what is Capgemini, it's a consulting company.
Correct. But in reality, it's a contracting company.
My brain, it's easier to process for my brain when you say body shopping.
Yes, it's a body shop. Thank you. Yes. Vladislav had this. I popped up real quick. Software ages like milk. By the way, I had some milk in the fridge I'd forgotten about. It aged not well.
Exactly.
Not well. Okay, so let's move on to this. I was shocked when I saw this. I know you use Vagrant 0% of the time now.
0, yeah.
I use it a
Can't
lot.
imagine a reason to use it, but yeah, I mean, I'm
I use it a lot.
almost completely Kubernetes or cloud.
Exactly.
If I would be doing something that locally it's not Kubernetes, I wouldn't think even for a millisecond before reaching to Vagrant.
Right. So they're finally moving from a Ruby runtime to Go. Wow. Right?
That's actually an extremely good sign. Not because it's Go.
Right.
Not because it's Go, but because if a company decides to actually rewrite their runtime, that means that they have plans for that. The way I interpret this news is that we have something on the horizon with Vagrant. Something, because it's not going to just continue being what it is, which is good news.
I think you might be reading a little bit too much into it, but
Maybe.
I'll go with you. I don't disagree with it, but I also don't think it's going to be Terraform level changing.
No, not Terraform level, but kind of
Yeah.
think of it. If you're maintaining status quo of Vagrant, which I'm not using it, so correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
right? But I imagine that Vagrant today is not much different.
It's
not
not.
much happened to it from Vagrant 10 years ago, right?
6 years. It's the exact same Vagrant that I've been using for the past 6 years.
Exactly. So by rewrite to continue maintaining status quo, maybe, but sounds something I wouldn't make. If I would be a decision maker, I would never decide to rewrite something for the sake of keeping it the same.
We were just talking about legacy applications, right? Vagrant is a legacy application.
Yeah, but you don't rewrite legacy applications so that it performs the same what it's doing right now.
Correct. You have to have a
Unless-
reason to migrate. Have to.
Yeah, I mean, there could be a sinister reason, kind of like, I'm sick of working with COBOL. I want to increase my value on the market by learning Go. How can I learn Go in a world, through practical examples, I can rewrite COBOL. That could be a reason. That's a good personal reason.
Yep. So that's 2.3. It comes in as a separate binary, which I haven't brought it down yet, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Where am I at? Oh, this one. I thought this was interesting. Extending Anthos, okay, whatever, to manage on-premise edge VMs. This gets into the VMware space, right? This is an ESX competitor-ish.
Yeah, I'm not sure what edge means in this context. I'm guessing that we're still talking about real servers, right? Not
Real servers. Well, it's going to be VMs, but yes, it'd still be a real
kind of
server
edge
with a VM.
to cloud.
Correct. Edge to cloud.
Okay.
And that's a great way to think about it. So, GA of blah, blah, blah. VM support is available in Anthos for bare metal, now known as Google Distributed Cloud Virtual. Come on. I work in product marketing. I know I have a horrible time naming things. This could have been better. The GDCV. Customers can now run VMs alongside Now, this is the key part here. Customers can now run VMs alongside containers on a single unified Google Cloud connected platform in their data center or at the edge.
So we're talking about KubeVirt or something similar, basically.
Yeah.
VMs in Kubernetes clusters managed by Anthos. Exactly. I don't know whether it's KubeVirt specifically, but KubeVirt or KubeVirt, that makes sense. Kind of like that makes a lot. I mean, because think about it. Whomever controls VMs is likely going to control what's on top of those VMs, right? And my interpretation of this is that Google is bypassing VMware completely by saying, hey, you don't need VMs at all, at least not in that form. You just install operating system directly on your bare metal. Skip completely VMware, right?
I think so, yeah. Because this would be your whole management system at that point. So.
To be honest, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not just well informed, but I'm surprised that RHEL is not pushing for something like that as well. Kind of like bypassing virtual machines altogether.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is news about Anthos this week. ChainGuard came out with an announcement yesterday. Wolfi, the first Linux undistro. So they're building on top of their thing they were doing before. So we're calling it Wolfi, but it looks like an octopus. I don't understand.
So I thought I was about to say such a cool name, kind of like Tiny Wolf. It's not that.
It looks like an octopus, right? Well, this is the ChainGuard logo, or mascot. Look up here. So it just doesn't make sense. So anyway, long list of things here. It's all about supply chain. Here's this chart that makes the most sense. So if you were to look, and this is live, so if I take a look at this Go image here, good grief, all right, here, I'll just stop there. So the base Go image had 389 as of whatever date that was, September 8th. PHP, Nginx, all had that. But the way that ChainGuard baked the images, they have 0 vulnerabilities.
Which is absolutely amazing and misleading at the same time.
Continue.
So I think that everybody did misfavor to everybody else by making official images, let's say in Docker Hub, be fat distributions, but then there is dash Alpine version or dash BusyBox version, right? And then you kind of look at, hey, Nginx, look how horrible it is, right? And then just 2 tags below, there is Nginx BusyBox or Nginx, Alpine. Now, I'm pretty sure that if they scanned Alpine, what was there? Go Alpine, for example, or whichever variation there is, there would be less vulnerabilities, but still not 0. So it's still great. But you know how those diagrams work. I'm pretty sure that they used fat images, not Alpine images.
Probably. But here are the 5...
I'm not diminishing the value. I think it's great to have 0.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely amazing.
So here are the 5 big points. Provides a high-quality build time SBOM. Everybody's talking SBOM nowadays.
Yeah.
Packages are designed to be granular and independent. Minimals. Uses APK package format. Lighter weight. Fully declarative and reproducible build system. This will make some people happy. And this was the big thing that you would always run into with Alpine. This is designed to support glibc and muscle. And that's where Alpine did not play so well. So if you wanted a lightweight image, but you needed this, you were toast. You couldn't run Alpine, at least not successfully. So this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
I think it's extremely cool. I mean, I actually knew about it for half a year or more or less.
Yeah.
I met some people, without naming them, in Budapest when they were about to announce it or something like that. So I think it's absolutely amazing. My only concern is, will you be able to maintain that?
What do you mean by that?
So you have, I don't know, like, let's say 50 or 100 images, let's say not a huge number, but you need to have a decent number of images. It cannot be Go and Nginx, right? Let's say 100. Maintaining, meaning that you're up to date with what is going on with all those 100 binaries and their releases is not a trivial work.
Well, and do you also maintain let's pick Node for just a second. Node has an LTS and usually 2 supported versions as well, right? So how do you handle all those backports for all the different versions?
Yeah, so that's the thing. You need to basically follow every single release of the application or whatever is in those images.
Yeah.
And when I say follow, I can easily run a build of new image whenever, I don't know, MongoDB is released. That's easy, but that's not the point. The point is ensuring that there are no vulnerabilities, ensuring that it works, testing all that jazz, right? That's complicated.
It's easy to build. It's not so easy to validate you didn't break anything.
Exactly.
To the nth degree. Simple tests are simple. Okay. Anyway, that's ChainGuard. If you're not following ChainGuard, you need to be following ChainGuard in everything that they're doing. They are leading this whole SBOM way of doing things. Between ChainGuard, wait, am I messing up? Hang on. Does the ChainGuard guys, are they the guys also doing Sigstore? Yes. Right?
I'm not sure.
Sigstore is cosine.
I'm not sure who's the main. Sigstore
right.
is in
Yeah.
CNCF, but I'm not sure who is. Okay, there we go.
Projects we support, yeah. So all this stuff. Okay. ChainGuard. I've only got one tool this week. What's up with all the developers seeming to take off time right now? Are they getting ready for this little thing called KubeCon? I don't know. JSON Crack.
Might be.
Check this out. A simple JSON visualization tool for your data. Have you ever wanted to try to figure out what your data looked like in a JSON format? I mean, it's one thing looking at the left-hand side. It's like, okay, I sort of get it, but looking at the right-hand side where I can see the flow, that's not so bad.
That's amazing. I mean, I don't want to see JSON, to be honest.
No.
I really honestly don't like JSON.
But you like YAML?
More than JSON. I mean, there are less curly braces in YAML.
But there's spaces. And if you mess up the spaces.
In JSON as well.
But they don't have to, they're not enforced.
Exactly. Now, you remove spaces in this and then tell me how much you need visualization.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with spaces. I don't know why people freak out. I understand how you can make a mistake because of space, but I really don't want any language, any format not to be properly indented.
Correct. What is proper indentation? That's another conversation, isn't it?
Never tabs.
No, okay. We can agree on that. Never tabs. So you can either use it in there on the web, or you can run it locally as a container. It's not Docker container, it's a container. Light dark mode makes people happy. So anyway, that's and you can search it too. That's the other thing, is you can search these nodes. I like it a lot. Anyway, and it's MIT, which is even better. So in all your spare time this weekend, Victor, you're going to spin this up as a business, right? It's MIT, so you can do it.
It's a new startup.
It's a new startup. Is to turn the JSON Crack into a SaaS. Okay, Victor might not be able to do it. I can't do it this weekend. I'm driving. Maybe somebody here watching.
Yeah, we have two
can do
products.
It.
First, conversion from XML to JSON, and then visualization.
It would be the same thing, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but even kind of the XML has even more characters I don't like.
Oh, you said XML. You said XML to JSON. Sorry.
It's XML to JSON. Exactly. Sorry, XML.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard you. I heard in my head because we talking. I heard YAML, not XML.
No.
So you're ready to go back to WSDLs? Wow.
I'm only on the third floor. I would survive, but otherwise I would open a window and jump rather.
Yeah. Speaking of jumping, emission controllers or CLI? What? I watched this.
Yeah.
And I've used this line before. I was still scratching my head at the end. What were you talking about? Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Datree is a project that started by offering CLI-based validations of your manifest. You execute some command and it tells you whether your manifest is okay or not, and if it's not okay, what are the issues with that manifest, and that can be best practices, security, this or that, right? And my argument or negative thing about that is that that's great when I'm writing things, but not so great when I need to enforce it, because all of a sudden I need to make sure that whichever processes are used on a path to production, those things are executed, right? I don't like to run things if I don't have to. So I think that for developing stuff, writing manifests is great, CLI, but not as enforcement, right? That's why we have admission controllers. And that's what Datree now did, right? Kind of, now there is a second mode to run it as admission controllers in Kubernetes, so that API tells you, nope, nope, nope.
Okay.
You cannot pass. So think
I
of
must
it
have fallen
as
asleep.
client-side validation and server-side validation. There was only client-side, now there is server-side.
Server side as well. Okay. I should have caught that. I don't know why it didn't click. I must have heard it. And if,
No. The more likely explanation of why I didn't click is because I didn't explain it well.
that's okay. Not like you don't have 70 other things going on. Can you make a DOT video about Azure Arc versus Outpost versus Anthos? Do you want to have racks installed in your...
That would be cool, but I cannot use the servers of the companies I've worked with or this or that. So I don't mix hobby, which is DOT is hobby and business, and I don't have servers. Try it. Somebody would. I would need three things. First, I would need two things. I need somebody to send me enough servers so that I can try those things. And then I need somebody to buy me a bigger apartment to put them.
And probably power?
Well, I mean, I don't expect everything to be given to me. I can take care of the power.
No, I mean, you're going to need more power, probably.
Yeah,
It won't plug into a...
Okay, forget about apartment. I actually changed all the electricity in the undisclosed location.
Right.
I have space there. I just need racks. That's all. So, send it to me. I'll give it. Whomever wants to do it, I'll send the address.
Yeah. Racks. I don't know. Of course, that would work out pretty good in the winter, right? Because you like warm. So if you had 3 racks in there, you wouldn't have to pay a heating bill.
Oh, fuck.
electricity
I just
bill would be
realized,
more.
actually, when I said undisclosed location would not work either because my office is underground.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that if I put racks of servers, that would make it
Unbearable.
unlivable.
Yeah. It'd be
Unbearable,
too
yeah.
hot. Yeah.
Too hot and probably not enough air and what's not, right?
Well, you could
But
test
I'll
the
figure
thermal
it out.
throttling. Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I just need racks. That's all.
All right. So next week, video from Victor on Monday, podcast on Wednesday. Are you doing a DOT by yourself next week, or are you on the road again next week?
Next week, I think there is no DOT scheduled. It's the week after
didn't see it.
next, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. The one with Jim, I think that
Okay.
should be the one after next. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one
And then no Friday next week here either, because I'll be driving back, if everything stays on time, back from the hurricane. So
no Friday, which next week.
no Friday next week.
Okay. Okay.
I've already canceled it. You shouldn't see it on your calendar anyway.
I see that. I will see it. Yes. Yes.
Can we get into a triple negative to make a positive?
Oh man.
So we're going to sort of wrap it up a little bit short today because I still got a lot of work to do before I can get on the road tomorrow morning. Because I'm actually driving to Miami tomorrow. That's 12 hours. Hanging out with some friends there on Sunday and then driving up to Orlando on Monday.
Is it close?
Miami to Orlando is, so my house to Miami is 12 hours. Miami to Orlando is 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
Okay.
So it's easy.
It's okay.
Yeah. And then driving back home will be another 8 hours. And I'll be back in my bed and sleeping. And this will be the longest time I've stayed in a hotel since a long time. 6 nights in a hotel. I haven't done that in forever. Forget how to do it. I guess I'll learn again.
It's very easy. You get the key, you
Close
enter,
the door.
close the door, and
to sleep.
then you go out, and when you come back in, everything is not as you left it, but as when you entered the first time.
Huh. then you have to remember to pack up when you leave, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Which that's for people who unpack. I haven't unpacked my suitcase in life ever.
I'm the exact opposite.
Really?
I don't care if I'm just staying overnight. I unpack completely because that's what I've always done.
I open the suitcase.
Just enough, right?
No, open it like this.
Yep.
And then everything from one side is thrown on a pile of the other side, so that I have one empty side for when I'm throwing the dirty
dirties.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then the time comes, close, go.
But see, 12 hours to me is nothing. I'm used to it. Like the longest I'll drive in a day is 14 hours. So that's usually about right at 900 miles. I don't like driving
12
more.
hours, I'm already in occupied territory and past occupied territory from here, and then I'm exiting the continent, man.
If you were to drive across Texas, I know this because I've done it. If you go from El Paso to basically what I can't remember the city right at where Shreveport, Louisiana is, that's 650 miles. So you can go to sleep in El Paso and wake up and still be in Texas. And somebody's been driving all the time and doing 65 or 100 kilometers an hour, right? It's just...
I know. That's, that's the thing that I think that most of us have that picture, US is a country, but actually US is a collection of 50 countries, right?
Yep.
Essentially.
That's the great way to say it. Let's try to answer Just Cloud Native. Should we stop using the term DevOps?
No, absolutely not, because you just got that raise because you named yourself DevOps. Keep the raise.
Yeah. Keep the raise for now. Yeah.
Exactly. Internally stop using it, but kind of anything related with the salary, position, stuff like that, keep using it until the next thing comes.
Yeah.
And then SBOM engineer. Maybe that's because I hear SBOM a lot.
So the thing I've seen with people doing all these AI generated art images, you've seen that with DALL-E and all these other things, right? Do you know there's a term for that? It's called a prompt engineer. Prompt. So where you type the text in and you hit enter and wait for the image to come out, that person is now called a prompt engineer. Look, we've all been prompt engineers since Google came out, right? We type into Google trying to figure out, okay, what is this? It's no different.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we'll see you again in 2 weeks-ish, because we'll be back on your Thursday to be back here before next Friday. And if you don't see me, well, it's probably the hurricane. So we'll see how it plays out.
Okay, so we need to we need to put on you one of those bracelets that kind of
An air tag.
Send a signal.
Yeah.
Huh?
I need to wear an air tag so somebody can track me all the time.
No. I mean, AirTag does not is not a proof of
proof of life,
being alive. Kind of like
yes.
Those that if there is no pulse for more than an hour. One of those.
Yeah, probably should do that.
Or since it's hurricane, if you are more than 10 meters above ground, it can kind of...
Yeah.
I don't know whether I saw it only in movies or that's for real, whether it can lift you up. No? Not a thing?
Oh, no. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, it could. It's like a tornado. Yes, that can happen. Yeah. It's like watching Twister. Cow.
Yeah, Twister, exactly. I'm not sure whether it's based on realistic
So, okay, for tornadoes, yes. For hurricanes, typically not. Other than the initial tornadic activity that happens in a hurricane. It's a weird thing. You get used to it.
I read Wizard of Oz, and since then I haven't. I avoided hurricanes all the time.
See, so you can never live in Texas, Oklahoma, and Nebraska just because of all the tornadoes. Now, I've been through a lot of tornadoes out there. I've been through more damaging tornadoes than I have damaging hurricanes. So.
But here's a question I have, and I don't understand.
Okay.
My understanding is, and again, I'm probably misinformed, so correct me at any moment. There are some areas that have tornadoes, hurricanes, whatever, People build houses, tornado
Yes.
comes, destroys the house.
Yes.
You build a house again,
In the same
tornado comes,
place.
destroys the house.
Yeah.
Why do you keep building destroyable houses? In those regions, I'm not saying. Am I asking something very stupid? Probably.
No, you're not. You're asking a very. It's just like asking right now.
Like that Japan, right? Kind of. There is no earthquake that can destroy them.
No, but there's typhoons, right? So
Yeah,
Japan, but same thing, right? Okay, typhoons and hurricanes, by the way, are the exact same thing. Just depends on where you're at in the world.
Okay.
They're effectively the same thing. I've never understood why you would rebuild after living in a floodplain. I just don't understand. Right?
You know, if insurance gives me money after the house is destroyed, you know how
Peace
I would
out.
use that money is to pack up my truck
Move.
and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I would expect nobody living in that area, to be honest.
But some people do. Okay. Am I going to? Oh, wait. Share links. Yes. So the links will be down in the description probably later, like probably 5 or 6 hours from now, because I still have to get back to work. This is my lunch break. So those will be there. So if you don't see them today, they'll get up today or late today because I'm on the road tomorrow morning early. So they'll be there. And yes, ChainGuard announced the Academy this week as well. That was they had 3 big announcements: Wolfi, the Academy, and whatever the third one was. I don't remember right now. So, okay. Let's go ahead and go, and we'll see everybody in a couple of weeks. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching till the end. Do the YouTube things, thumbs up, subscribe, do the things. And is there anything else you want to say?
Nope.
No? Okay. That's it. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Cheers, everyone.